Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. This video will be about the economy of South Africa. Before we start, these are the group members that worked hard on this topic. The context of this video are Part A, Introduction, Part B, Summary of the Economic Issue Arise, Part C, Public Policy, Part D, Macroeconomic Problems, and Part E, Measures Taken.
Introduction. The southernmost nation on the African continent is South Africa, officially known as the Republic of South Africa or the Union of South Africa. The President of South Africa, a constitutional democracy, is Cyril Ramaphosa. The economy of South Africa is primarily centered on private enterprise, which is given priority by the government in order to preserve corporate confidence and increase investment. Agriculture is one of the main contributors, making a significant contribution to the domestic economy and exports. Additionally, South Africa is endowed with a vast array of minerals, including gold and coal, another important mineral product that is mostly generated for export for the production of energy. In addition, tourism is starting to play a bigger role in the economy of South Africa. Thus, the interconnected strands of mining, tourism, energy, and agriculture create a story of growth, resilience, and dedication to creating a dynamic and inclusive economic future as the country continues to forge ahead. Summary. To address economic problems, the South African government enacted monetary and fiscal measures. In order to manage inflation and advance long-term financial stability, the objective on the fiscal front is to attain a primary budget surplus while maintaining tight monetary policy with a benchmark interest rate that is 14 years high. The demand pull and cost push macroeconomic difficulties of inflation are examined along with their implications. There are 4 types of unemployment: structural, cyclical, technological, and frictional. This study also covers the main strategies used by the government to control unemployment and inflation. The commitment of the government demonstrates its proactive stance towards unemployment, and monetary policies aim to control inflation and uphold general economic stability.
Fiscal policy refers to the use of government spending and taxation to influence economic conditions, including aggregate demand, employment, inflation, and economic growth. Governments use fiscal policy to promote strong and sustainable growth and reduce poverty. Fiscal policy can be expansionary or contractionary. Expansionary fiscal policy is used for stimulating an alien economy by lowering tax rates or increasing spending to increase aggregate demand. On the other hand, contractionary fiscal policy is used to prevent or reduce inflation by raising rates or cutting spending. South Africa's fiscal position has improved since 2021 and 2022, largely due to consolidation measures, economic recovery, and accelerated gross domestic product (GDP) inflation. Government spending has assisted revenue since the 2008 global financial crisis. From 2008 to 2022, consolidated government spending on average consistently grew faster than gross domestic product (GDP) and consolidated revenue, mainly driven by the public service wage bill, rising debt service costs, and transfer to households. Spending growth was not matched by efficiency gains. The composition of spending also deteriorated, with infrastructure investment declining as a proportion of total expenditure. That is, the term meant that spending was increasingly oriented towards current consumptions rather than investment that would support long-term economic growth. Monetary policy refers to the actions taken by a central bank to control the money supply and achieve sustainable economic growth. The Federal Reserve Bank implements monetary policy in the United States through a dual mandate to achieve maximum employment and stable prices. The strategies used for monetary policy include revising interest rates and changing bank reserve requirements. Monetary policy is also commonly classified as either expansionary or contractionary. Interest rates in South Africa are ruled out while inflation remains persistent. The South African Reserve Bank has held its benchmark interest rate unchanged at 14 years high for 8.25% since May 2023. The South African Reserve Bank used monetary policy to achieve and maintain price stability. The primary tools for this repo rate is lends money to commercial banks. By changing this rate, the SARB can influence the cost of borrowing and spending in the economy. The discount rate is the cost of borrowing from the central bank once a given discount rate is established. The central bank exercises its power by changing the rate of other conditions for discounting, increasing in the rate and associated with the monetary authorities the offset inflationary pressures. It is also highly developed economy. Changes in the discount rates play a significant role in internal developments, influencing the availability of money and the cost of credit, and thus affecting the country's international position. The South African Reserve Bank is responsible for the formulation and implementation of monetary policy in South Africa. The responsibility of the Constitution of the Republic for South Africa is which specify the task of the Reserve Bank to protect the value and the currency in the interest of balanced sustainable economic growth in the country. The low inflation rate, or rather a rate that has no material effects on the macroeconomics decision for consumers, inventors, traders, producers, and all other participants in total economic activity, is normal regarded as synonymous with stable financial conditions. If these preconditions do not exist, unstable financial conditions are an important, if not overbearing, obstacle in the way high as sustainable economic growth.
I'm going to continue with the macroeconomic problem in South Africa. There are two types of macroeconomic problem in South Africa, which are inflation and unemployment. So, I'm gonna explain about inflation first. Inflation is a continuous increase in the general price levels of goods and service in an economy over a significant periods of time. Various factors can contribute to inflation, including increased demand for goods and services, increased production costs, change in the money supply, and external influence such as global price fluctuation. Let's move on to the types of inflation in South Africa. There are two types of inflation, which demand pull inflations and cost push demand. Demand pull inflation caused by an increase in aggregate demand exceeding aggregate supply. In simple terms, it happens when the overall demand for products outpaces the economic ability to produce those products, which increase consumer spendings and heighten business investment, while cost push inflation occur when in South Africa the cost of production increase, leading to a rise in the overall price level of goods and service in the economy, such as increased cost of raw material or labor. So, let's go to the effects of inflation in South Africa. There are four types of effect. For the first one is reduced purchasing power. It refers to the reduction in the real value of a currency that leads to a decline in the amount of goods and services that can be purchased with a given amount of money. If inflation is high or rising, the value of the South African rand will diminish over time. Second, fixed income challenge. It refers to the difficulty faced by investor or individual who rely on fixed income. Their income does not increase with inflation, that leading to a decline in real income and may struggle to plan for future. Third, increased rates and borrowing costs. They are interconnect elements of finance. When interest rates are low, borrowing costs decrease, encouraging individuals and businesses to take out loans for various purposes, such as investment or consumption. Lastly, social and economic inequality. It refers to the gaps in the distribution of resource, opportunity, and wealth among individuals or groups within a society, which include different access to education, healthcare, social service, as well as prejudice based on races, genders, or socio-economic background. Now, I'm going to explain about unemployment. Unemployment refers to the condition in which those who are willing and able to work are unable to find job opportunity. Unemployment can result from various factors, including economic downturn, technological change, and structural shift in the industry. There are four types of unemployment in South Africa. Firstly, frictional unemployment. It refers to the temporary or short-term unemployment. South Africa is a country that is not very developed and does not have many job opportunity for its own people because most of them know how to do village job that does not give them much money or income and causes them to change their job frequently. Secondly, structural unemployment. It arises due to the shift in the structure of an economy. It occurs because of skill mismatch, lack of education, training, and a labor market that struggle to adapt changing economy demand. It has been a serious and well-known problem in South Africa. Thirdly, cyclical unemployment is caused by lack of demand in the downturn of the business cycle or recession, but during economic expansion, it tends to decrease. For example, during a recession in South Africa, industry like manufacturing and construction may experience reduced demand that leads to job cut and a decline in production and employment. Lastly, technological unemployment is refer to the consequence of rapid technological progress or the phenomenon of advancements in technology that leading to the displacement of human labor as automation, machine, artificial intelligence, and other technological innovation that replace certain job function. Now, we gonna move to effect of unemployment. As for individual and society, there are five types of effect. For the first one is financial strain. It's referred to the individual or entities who experience significant stress or pressure due to the challenge in managing their financial resources that are caused by job losses, unexpected expenses, high level of debt, or economy downturn. Secondly, the mental health impact. It includes both individual and society as well as families and other community. They might face health challenge due to limited access to healthcare and nutrition that cause an increase in stress, anxiety, and depression. Thirdly, education and skill gap. It refers to the difference between the skills and knowledge acquired through formal education and the skill demanded by the job market. Additionally, social unrest and crime refer to the collective dissatisfaction or discontent within a society. It can contribute to a higher crime rate as individuals may do illegal activity out of depressions or stress. Lastly, government expenditure refer to the total amount of money spent by government within a specific period, and the spending include infrastructure development, education, healthcare, defense, social welfare program, and administrative costs. As for the economy and country, there are three types of effect which are economic impact. In South Africa, frictional unemployment has significant economic impact because of the challenge in the labor market efficiency and the matching of job seeker with suitable opportunity. Secondly, lower tax revenue. It occurs when the government collects less money than anticipated from taxations. Unemployment causes fewer people earning income that lead to the decline in tax revenue for the government. Last but not least, economy slowdown is referred to a declaration in the growth of an economy. It's reduced economic activity such as productions, consumptions, and investment during the crucial times or crucial things like GDP growth, employment rates, and industrial output. It will be decreased at a lower rate.
There are a lot of strategies that the South Africa government can consider to control unemployment and inflation in their country. Firstly is from monetary policy, which is South Africa Reserve Bank use interest rate as a tool to control inflation because by using interest rate tends to reduce spending and borrowing habits. Next strategy that the government can do is the South Africa Reserve Bank can use inflation targeting as the main framework in its monetary policy to achieve and maintain price stability. Lastly, SARB should play a main role in managing exchange rate in South Africa. The regulation of the country's currency rate is important for maintaining international trade, controlling inflation, and maintaining the value of the South Africa rand against other currency. Finally, the government should trade balances and current account balances because imbalances can put pressure on the currency rate. In order to maintain fiscal responsibility, efficient allocation of resources, and achievement of policy objectives, the South Africa government can use a number of procedures and techniques to control its expenditure. It is important to remember that regulating government expenditure is a continuous process. Other than that, it is important to implement job creation program to address unemployment, stimulate economic development, and uphold social stability. The government should invest more in education and skill development program to increase the marketability of the workforce. There is other strategies that can help the government to solve the microeconomics problem in South Africa. Firstly is social dialogue. This strategy can reduce inflation since it entails inclusive discussion and cooperation among various stakeholders. Moving to other strategies, supply-side policy can also contribute to inflation in South Africa by enhancing the country's economic efficiency and productive potential. Lastly, it is important to consider the unique opportunities and problems that exist in South Africa, such as the need to rectify historical economic imbalances and equality. To sum up, the South Africa government should consider all of these strategies to make the country better and can compete with other countries in the developing economy.
Conclusion. To sum up, South Africa's economic policies demonstrate a dedication to monetary discipline as well as fiscal responsibility. In the face of both local and international uncertainty, fiscal policy and monetary policy fronts highlight a strategic approach to overcoming challenges by encouraging economic stability, growth, and cautious management. Furthermore, the complex connection between unemployment and inflation affects South Africa's economic dynamics. A comprehensive approach that combines monetary and fiscal policy is needed to address these issues. The dedication of this government will be essential to negotiating these complexities and creating an effective and inclusive South African economy. In conclusion, the government of South Africa has initiated a comprehensive economic agenda. Supply-side economics and social discourse facilitate the development of consensus and increase productivity.
I hope that by watching this video, you'll gain some new knowledge about the economy of South Africa. Thank you for watching.